Peace, family. It's your boy FONZi Luke's out representing for Bout.online.com. Joined with the big dog, Los Angeles, aka Floss Mode, and we're back this week looking at some hip hop content and news. Shit, what's good with you, fam?
Oh man, so I'm just chilling, man. You know what I mean? Enjoying my day. What's good with it?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm in, just getting the things in gear, I should say, for the new week. The last week been pretty cool. Kind of had a bit of time off and took care of a few personal things. Still kind of keeping abreast with the stuff going on in the medias. We kind of got there's so much stuff going on. But definitely want to say shouts out to Lonzo, Dusty, obviously yourself, Bambino. A lot of guys we connected with recently and stuff. So and the guys putting out good stuff on their content. I've been sitting back watching a lot of other podcasts and stuff recently. To
You
be
talking about
honest,
Lonzo on them?
yeah, Bomb First
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
Burst.
yeah. Reggie and all them. Big up to them.
Yep. So I mean, we're back this week. We want to look at part two, something where we kicked off last time. We was looking at some of the darker side of the hip hop industry. A lot of people talk about the violence. A lot of people talk about the drugs, and it seems that another thing that we can't talk too overtly about it is the sex thing, and YouTube will usually have a field day if we go too hard on this sort of topic. But one of the things that was a major story trending over the weekend was an interview with Young Miami, which she did with Trina, I believe on could have been Keys or one of those things, and she actually let a huge cat out the bag, say that she likes to be
Feel like I'm
urinated.
gonna put piss on you. I'm gonna put piss on you.
Wow. So I mean, such a stunning and good looking girl and stuff like that, and people have all sorts of
Fetishes. That's a
kind of
fetish.
fetishes and preferences and shit that
Right.
especially going on behind closed doors. But for her to come out in public making that statement, it actually led to P Diddy with the name P Diddy trending all over Twitter and stuff with
Get
people
it?
explaining.
P. Get it? P. Diddy. Get it? You get it what I'm talking about? Shower me with your love. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm my bad.
Well, Diddy, they did say that Diddy's recently had a new baby, and within that there's often baby showers, but now with her, she's got golden showers trending. I mean, what do you think about all this?
Man, she can come out with her own shower line. I don't hate on anybody's thing. Run with it. Whatever you're gonna do it to the best of your ability. It's a bunch of people that have fetishes, and we just didn't know that she had this type of fetish. She came on out with it. You know what I mean? But it's all kind of stuff. When you're in the industry, you hear all kind of stories of shit that people is into. I may not be into that, but hey, she come out with a song. You know what I mean? It have Dave Chappelle on a remix or something. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I don't know if the internet was the place to expose it, but shout out to Young Miami. You know what I mean? That's what she like. That's what she like. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? I'm not into that though, but I'm just saying, like, hey.
I mean, she was definitely candid enough about it. I mean, Trina, who's definitely not one to mince her words in some aspects in terms of actions in regards to things of the adult nature. Even she seemed kind of taken aback by the statement and was like, "Wow, you kind of like,
Like, no, the look on her face was like, "Damn, bitch, you didn't have to go and expose it like that." Like, damn.
I mean, even you saying that she didn't have to say that on social media. You think like, you know, I don't want to say like it's new to this new generation. I know there's some things. Obviously, some people probably go to crazier miles than others, but do you think they're a bit more out there this new generation, or
Yeah, man. Like, I still don't think that they have topped um, the sexual pinnacle like the 70s. You feel what I'm saying? Like our parents that created us around that time. But they have so many abbreviations for things. I'm like, oh, what? Oh, what is this called? Like, either I'm out the loop or this shit is crazy. But they, to be sexually free, I've been to a couple of like like swinger things. There's one out there in Atlanta called Trapeze, and there's another one in Colorado called the Mon Chalet. I'm talking about, I can't really get all into some of the things that's going on, but man, this this world is something, you know what I'm saying? And when they mix the races of different people, and you know what I mean, and people be into all kinds of things. So, in that world, that's really nothing. But to the regular world, the working world, the people that's stiff and not really all into that type of shit, you know what I mean? Then it could sound a little weird, a little odd, a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely got some out there sort of sentiments to it. One of the other things that came in, which some people would kind of consider to be out there, and I guess when we look at some of the sexualization of things that happen behind the scenes and within the industry, I think sometimes people may look at some celebrities. You got one aspect where they think they're larger than life. Some people see them as like role models, or quite perfect figures in some aspects, or they don't do certain things. And then you got some people that may look at it and say, well, they're human. They may do certain things, and they may do it more, or they may do it with just people within their own sort of peer group. So just like you might have a girl on the streets that might be sort of footloose, fancy free, promiscuous, or whatever. It doesn't mean just because somebody's in the industry, they may not be that same way. I say that to say all this. Recently we've seen a lot of stuff with Keith Murray talking about sex exploits and sexcapades. We covered some of them on the dark side last time, but more recently in an interview, which has been quite shocking to some people, Kiely Williams of 3RW fame, and also was a member of the Cheetah Girls, which was like a popular kids sort of show and stuff. He came out and said that she was involved in an entanglement with the boys from B2K. Three of them, and I'm guessing it was J Boo, Fizz, and Raz B, I believe. I don't believe it was Amaria. But she said, she recalls hooking up with three members of B2K at once, and she said everybody has had their whole days, and kind of speaks on the ready to train on her and stuff like that. I mean, we've heard
You
stuff.
might as well get all three of them should just got together. And yeah, that's like, if you're gonna do it like,
I mean, I got a bit of a sidebar. I remember when I used to see her back in the day and stuff with the group and on TV and stuff, and I used to think she was cute. I mean, if you see her now, I know some women might probably slate me for this, but she looks rough. She doesn't. She
oh, I
looks.
like that there.
Yeah, she lost a lot of that cuteness. I mean, maybe she just put on weight or something. I don't know, but but now she's saying she's grown. She can admit it. Everybody's had their whole days. She's saying she can look back. She's got kids. She don't care, and she says, she had Fizz, J, Big, and Raz at the same time. So I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, as long
Her
as you
having
had fun,
spitting
as
your
long
face
as you
that
had
way.
fun doing what you was doing, as long as you had fun. But you know what, Fonz, I'm about to hit you with an exclusive today. When we spoke earlier, we was talking about the topic and all that, and so I wasn't going to display this, but I'm gonna bust it out because I can't talk about this topic. It'd be hypocritical of me to speak about this and somebody else's shit and not speak about mine. But in the year 2000, I went through a situation to where I got busted. Was I had to go to jail for a second. I caught a case, and so from that, I was depressed that night, depressed as fuck. I went out to a club in Hollywood, and it was a club called Los Palmas out there in Hollywood. And so I seen this white cat walking down the stairs inside the club. He had a box of porno. So I'm like, what is you doing with a box of porno in in a club? He was like, my name is Nikki Starks, porno director for Darkside Entertainment. I was like, yeah, don't say. So I was like, when I look at porn, the music on there is horrible. I want to start doing music dedicated to porn. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my nigga Baby S. He was doing that from Weak and Freaky with Corrupt. He was doing songs for dedicated to porn and shit. So I was like, I want to do songs dedicated to porn. So he was like, good idea, Floss. I heard of you before, yada yada yada. So he gave me his number. 2 weeks later, he calls me over. He has two houses in his neighborhood where he shoots and one where he lives. So while I'm in the studio working on the song, he comes and he like, yo, Floss, one of the dudes didn't show up for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Show up for the shoot. Would you be interested on doing a movie? I was like, Nick, you got me fucked up. I ain't about to do nothing like that. Crazy, man. So he offered me a disclosed amount of paper that I was like, shit, I'm just getting out of, getting out of jail from being from locked up. And so I did the film. I did it. So actually I'm like the first rapper to actually do porn. Snoop has a porn out, but they wasn't doing nothing on the camera. You know what I'm saying? I think Suave, porn star Suave was in it and all that. So I did the movie. It was in the back of my mind, but it was at the top of my brain at the same time. So one of my homies called me like, "Hey, Floss." I'm like, "What's up?" He like, "My nigga, did you do a porno?" And I was like, "Nah, what I got on?" He's like, "You stupid." I didn't even know what the cover looked like. He's like, "You got you on the cover." When I say it hit LA like a megaton bomb, like I couldn't go nowhere. I was against it. It even got nominated at the AVN Awards. The AVN Awards just passed in Vegas on the 4th through the 7th. You know what I'm saying? So I was totally against it when I really should have rode the wave of it. You know what I mean? And branched off. But it's all about timing, because at that time, people really wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like 2000. So it wasn't a good look for me. I felt funny. Plus, my grandmother, I was raised different. I felt a lot of different ways about it. But at the same token, like to this day, like I get a lot of reactions from this. You know what I'm saying? So, the homegirl with 3LW and all that, she just, confessing her tale or whatever. But what I did was a long time ago. Do I wish I wouldn't have done it? Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done it. But at the same token, I'm grown, and I knew the choices when I took it, and I needed that paper. You know what I mean? So that's my story on it. I just want to give you an exclusive. You know what I mean? I've never really told nobody on no platforms about this at all. First platform.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, man. I think and obviously we can be real about things on here, even as just mentioning some of the stuff what we look at, just I guess the different aspects of the industry. We ain't necessarily trying to shade anybody. We're gonna bring stuff up as it comes up. I think in this instance with the 3RW girl, where it kind of caught the eye of a lot of people was saying, okay, for somebody who was a young and impressionable celebrity, especially to like young kids and girls. However, some people have argued if they're coming out with a story now, it's fine because she's so older, it doesn't really do any damage.
Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to get them off the hook. I want to get your listeners and your female listeners off the hook. It's like, how you gonna tell us about a movie and not gonna tell us what the name of it is? The name of it is called Freaks of the Industry, #8, starring Floss Mode. Straight up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, yeah, you can what I call this YouTube. We gotta be careful with pushing adult movies and stuff.
Right, right. I mean,
So
you can show the cover. You can
they
show
can
the
find
cover because they don't have
yeah,
nothing on it. No,
they
nothing bad on it. But
they can pop that into Google. I'm sure they'll find something. But
yeah, they're
you
gonna
know,
find something.
in regards to Kiely, as I was saying, people have said there's a lot of exploitation that happens in the industry. Now we can't make the assumption that that's the case in this scenario. We have heard stuff about B2K in the past with all sorts of allegations and stuff and things being mentioned. So it seems like there's definitely a lot of wild stuff going on in the industry. And not just in the industry, you just spoke about even with your story and said you was approached by a white person offering money and stuff like that. And the thing is, we ain't saying this in the aspect of like it's a slant to white people per se. However, there has been like a modality that has been adopted by certain people within the white community that seems to teeter into exploitation of others just for their own kind of profit or gain. One of the things we've seen recently is Madonna surprisingly has been called out for the adoption of some of her kids, I'm guessing, and she's been accused of child trafficking in Malawi. There's several reports that have come in and said that she's accused of human trafficking and sexually exploiting children by a charity organization called the Ethiopian World Federation. And they state that it's a civic organization that pushes policies and advocates to change the laws that are there to harm black people. And there's been like a series of images and stuff going online with allegedly her adopted son by the name of David Bander, and people are saying that he's being used for sexual exploitation and experiments and stuff like that. There's been an array of like pictures that with him kind of dressed funny and weird, and her and him like looking very close and stuff like that. I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of these images, but some people say these things have been going on for a long time with these celebrities going to places like Africa and exploiting people. So even like with your experience talking about the industry and just like that kind of the different type of people that are out there, I guess recruiting. And we see one of the images right here, and there's been others and stuff like that. But what do you think of this? Madonna, who was somebody who was heralded as quite an icon, now being called out for allegedly exploitation of black children in Africa, sort of growing and grooming them to be a particular kind of way.
I mean, I don't know too much about the story, but um, Madonna always been on some free shit. Madonna always been on some freak shit too. At the same time, um, the homie from Jodeci, my homie Galvin used to tell me little stories and stuff like that. And then she always had people from the LGBT community uh, down with her, and they on some free shit. So I think that people is just seeing it and just using it to uh, to just to bash her. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never heard nothing about Madonna doing nothing before. You know what I'm saying? She always was squeaky clean and kept her nose clean and was just being a star like how she was supposed to. So, she always been around black people. So that shit they talking about her exploiting black people, she always been around black people, always had black people in her circle. You know what I'm saying? When the racist white people didn't understand it, they wanted didn't want her to. But no, I don't think that about Madonna. You know what I mean? If she see this, shout out to Madonna. Big up to Madonna. I always love Madonna. Borderline was my favorite song by her. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit myself, I was very disturbed by a lot of these images that I saw. I found them quite harrowing. And, I don't want to say completely shocking because we have seen lots of footage and stuff over the years. Now, the thing is, especially when we live in a society that we know over a long period has functioned under racism and white supremacy, we do know that there is a white savior complex that exists within the mentality of especially a lot of black people and so-called black people, especially within the diaspora in Africa and places like that, where they feel as though a white person is a particular savior. I knew a white businessman from the UK myself who used to mine jewelry and have people mine jewelry and stuff for him in Africa. And he used to kind of gloat a lot of the times about how he used to exploit them and say they're such a brilliant people, but they believe that the white people have the answers to everything that holds them back. Now, I want to kind of use that as a tangent. I know
ooh, that's cold right there. That's a cold saying. With whoever said that, that was cold. It's
yeah, I
cold
mean,
saying.
he meant it, and he was you know slightly off on a tangent. Like I say, he was very much into his business and being able to sort of exploit people for his gain. I only mention a lot of that because we've seen like the Angelina Jolies, we've seen Madonna, we've seen a lot of people adopt these kids from Africa and stuff who they say are underprivileged and stuff. Now, I guess there's always two sides to every coin. Some people may look at it and say they're doing a great service. Others are looking at it and saying, well, why are they going out their way to sort of try and get these types of people? Is there something more under the scenes that I don't want to get too much into conspiracy theories. People are mentioning stuff like adrenochrome and this and that, and saying that there's all sorts of things that be happening with people like using these kids for social experiments and sometimes even actual experimentation and stuff like that and sacrifices. So I find some of those pictures to be quite harrowing because it's one thing when you see some of these missionary images with people living in a society that functions under racism and white supremacy, definitely pushing that kind of ideology visually, like this person is, a great savior and stuff like that. I believe we should help everybody, where you can. You shouldn't have an agenda for it. You know, if you want to help people, help black people, white people, help everybody. There shouldn't be like, I just want to help these people, but there's kind of something in it for you secretly and stuff like that. I think you should just help whoever's in front of you and needs the help the most, not go out your way sometimes to do some stuff that I don't know. We don't know everybody's agenda or what's in their heart though, so it can be hard to say, you know.
The world was built on agenda. If the world is built on agenda, this whole shit is about agenda. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. The, you never know if she just, sometimes people have in their mind, I want to have a family, and I want to have a family of all races. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you
Michael
get
Jackson,
bashed.
Michael Jackson tried it, you know. He
You
got
know what I
those
mean?
type of
It's like
songs. That
it,
was
it
good
shouldn't
night.
be about this. It shouldn't be about this, but it is. You know what I'm saying? And since it is, I just look at things differently, man. Like, what are you getting from this? What are we getting from it? You know what I'm saying? If you got to look at if a world is trying to hold a certain people back and they still are blossoming and still progressing, not as they should, overseas, I have an overseas friend, and he told me, he said, black people, the black men, we feel sorry for y'all because you guys are so controlled. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I look at, there's no other race that is having agenda towards them like black people. But why? What is the question? People can kiki and ha ha and kiki, but why is there not a black NFL owner? Only reason why they're not making such a fuss over it because the players is making money. You know what I'm saying? But if you really look at it, they're not making enough money to where you could do something with your community. You know what I'm saying? They make it to where you're scared to do something for your community, or they gonna stop your money. You feel what I'm saying? As far as Madonna, I don't know. I don't think that that's her agenda. But the only thing I fault Madonna on is I don't have really no problems with Madonna. I love Madonna. The only problem I have with Madonna is how come you didn't put that money up to get Tupac out of jail? You feel me? She could have did that. They were seeing each other. They was close enough. You know what I'm saying? She could have easily put that money up and got Tupac out of jail. It was a shame that Tupac didn't have the money of his own to bail himself out of jail. That's another topic. But I'm just saying, as far as Madonna, yeah, I don't know if that's her agenda. People are going to be gay. They're going to be doing. I haven't seen. At the same time, I didn't see all the pictures either. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm saying? I didn't
I
see all the
mean,
pictures.
to be honest, the most disturbing part isn't necessarily for the fact that people are assuming that he's gay or bisexual or anything to that effect. It's there's been a huge implication that she has been potentially involved with, perhaps the child that's or the boy or the teen or whatever he is now herself. So that's what makes it more disturbing because people feel as though she's, groomed into a certain age and, potentially having some kind of relationships and stuff with him now and stuff like that. So, that's some of the issues that's been cited from at this point. It's, speculation online and stuff like that. It does say that an organization are looking into things. As you said, we do hear about a lot of the weirdness in the industry and stuff sometimes. Some people may say it's fine, they're not blood relatives. She just did a service kind of raising them up to be a certain age. We did hear about, it's not nothing new in Hollywood. I think, was it Roman Polanski or one of those?
Holly weird. You mean?
Sometimes these big Hollywood producers have done stuff, quite similar. I think Woody Allen was married to, was it Sue Young at one point? So, you guys definitely let us know your thoughts and stuff. Anybody tapping in, and what do you guys think? I mean, do you think Madonna down bad? Do you think people are overreacting? As you said, I ain't got personally anything against Madonna and stuff like that. I do feel as though, as I said, some of the pictures did come off quite uncouth and disturbing, especially for and I believe, as you said, in this world, you should be able to look after whoever you wish. We had Michael Jackson; he had kids that people said were white kids. He a black man, so it wasn't really frowned upon completely. It was so I think when it comes to adoption, if you can make a difference in a kid's life, it shouldn't matter what color they are and stuff. But we gotta live in the real world. and deal with things accordingly, and respect people's cultures, and the right stuff and ethics and stuff.
Right, right.
Slightly off topic, I remember a movie back in the day before we wind down, and I'd encourage people to check it out if they haven't. And I believe it's called Losing Isaiah with Halle Berry,
Yeah.
and and it tells a great story where she ends up being involved with addiction and stuff, and the child goes to a white woman, and the white woman was caring. She wanted to do her best by the child. It was a victim of circumstance. However, she was ill-equipped to raise him the right way and stuff. And this played out in the course of events in the movie and stuff, and she did realize at the end of the game Halle Berry back her child. But I just said that all that to say this, that your intention can be good, but sometimes the culture or the nurturing of what the child needs is better coming from their own. You know what I mean? Especially if you're gonna be doing things that are like way out there, that's like not of their nature, their people. African people, they proud people. They proud people, man.
You know what? Now that you said that, I feel what you're saying. It's very important the fact that she did adopt a black child. If you are going to adopt a black child, black people is watching, black people is looking. So you should raise him to be a strong black man. You understand what I'm saying? A man, a no nonsense man that's not of this world. You know what I'm saying? It's more of your duty to make sure, and your responsibility to make sure that, I'm not dissing nobody's community or whatever they got going on, but we black. You know what I'm saying? So it's a dominant color. So I feel like the man should be dominant. The man should be dominant. They've been trying to demasculate, yeah, the black man for such a long time, and putting them in dresses and shit. You know what I'm saying? And to where you put people in a position to where they need money, people are going to do it. You put them in desperate times. Desperate times turn into desperate measures. But it's an iffy topic, man. But I feel like I still love Madonna, but I feel like if you adopt a child of a different race, that race is looking, they paying attention. So make them proud. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, look at the world. You know what I'm saying? Look at the world. So the world has made it to where you really can't say anything about the LGBT community, or you're going to get silenced, or you're not going to work, or whatever. You're going to face some kind of consequence. So I feel like that's wrong. I feel like you should be able to say whatever you want to, but with respect. As long as you're not disrespecting anybody or calling people out their name or anything like that. I had to grow. In the industry, I felt a different way about homosexuals and all that type of stuff. I don't feel the same way that I feel because I'm not homosexual. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the people that's doing the bashing and all that type of stuff and hitting, it's because they scared. They're fearful of something. They're scared of something. Only time you act like that is when you're scared of something, or you don't know enough about it, or whatever. So doing this industry, I had no choice but to see people that was homosexual. They were makeup artists. They were stylists, and some of them be disrespectful, and you have to check them and put them in their place. But to go around and bashing and beating up people and all that type of shit because of whatever gender they are, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stand on it. I don't have no problem with nobody at all. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're homosexual, that doesn't mean they're not talented or whatever they're doing in their work or whatever they're doing. That's just their preferences of sexuality. But that doesn't mean that you have to go and bash people or treat them different or don't let them in something or shun them from something. That's terrible. People is people at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that's a nice button to wind down on. I mean, good come in all kind of group, shapes, form, and fashion. And assholes come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Not to make light, but definitely. And I think you know, as we wind down on this one, we have looked at some of the other darker aspects of the industry, the sex, the drugs, the violence and stuff. Sadly, it's something that definitely continues to pervade the music and society, especially within modern culture. We try and do our best to look at the effects of certain things and just the adverse impact of how things have affected just the next generation and even the current generation and stuff going forward. If you guys like the discussion, do check out more on the DOA TBN podcast, pardon me, which can be found on, digital media platforms, obviously backnetonline.com for all sorts of media news and updates. Flash got some new music and stuff coming too as well. So definitely gonna be a dope new year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Y'all start that loving and stop that hating. You know what I'm saying? That's what all I gotta say is to love each other, man. And another thing, rest in peace to my brother Laylaw. Rest in peace, homeboy. Rest easy.